watching ABC's Wide World of Sports.
What would happen if you took the 12 finest race drivers in the world?
12 of the greatest racing drivers in the world are brought together.
The premise, of course, is to determine who would be the world's greatest race driver.
He's spinning down the front stretch, back stretch, they're going into top 9.
Dale Earnhardt wins it. Wow, the classic Intimidator move, just a few hundred feet from the finish line.
Well, it's finally been done in an international race of champions.
The fourth and final race of IROC 24 is about to roll from the world-famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to the finale of IROC 24. The first three races of this year have produced three different winners. Dale Earnhardt at Daytona, Bobby Labonte at Talladega, and most recently, Eddie Cheever Jr. at Michigan. Those three drivers plus two others are all mathematically able to win the championship here this afternoon. Mark Martin is second in points. Tony Stewart is tied with Bobby Labonte for third. The top five drivers that you see there in points could walk off with the title here today. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bob, although there have been 95 IROC events held over the 24-year history of this series, only twice have they raced here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And both times, Mark Martin has won. In fact, both times they've been here, Dale Earnhardt has finished 8th. You know, so if you're going to handicap this race looking at those points, you might want to bet on Mark Martin to win the championship. To refresh your memory, a year ago, Martin came in here 20 points behind Dale Earnhardt in this IROC finale. For Martin to have any shot at winning the title, he had to not only win the race, but lead the most laps. What did Mark do? He sped away from the final row and led 32 of 40 laps on his way to victory. He ended up 1 point shy of the championship. Today, they are separated by just 12 points in the IROC finale for this 24th season, and they both start side by side in the final row. You know, a year ago, the driver said it was tough to pass here because of aerodynamic problems. But Jay Signori and the engineers have changed that. They have dialed these cars in. With more on that, let's go upstairs to our expert. Here's Ray Evernham and Benny Parsons.
That's right, Jerry. Even though we have had races at Daytona, Talladega, and Michigan Speedway, it's been with the same car. But Jay Signori and his crew have pieces that they bolt on these cars that change the aerodynamics. Here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, they went for maximum downforce. And Benny, the drivers I talked to, said they can go all the way around here without lifting off the gas pedal.
And side by side. You know, folks, if you've watched the races at Indianapolis, you don't see cars side by side that much. But in the IROC series, they're talking about running laps side by side, not being able to get an advantage on either. If that's the case, who knows what's going to be at the end of this race today.
Well, now let's go down for the command that will get this finale for IROC 24 underway. Waiting on the command to fire these 12 identically prepared Firebirds and get them underway.
Gentlemen, start your true value IROC race car.
And with those words, we're set to go. Let's check the starting lineup for the event. Row number 1, 2 from the Indy Racing Northern Light Series. Mark Dismore from Greenfield, Indiana, and Plano, Texas, Greg Ray. Greg is the defending champion of the Indy Racing Northern Light Series and recently won his first event of 2000 at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Row 2 from the Winston Cup Series, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. from the NASCAR Busch Series. Wallace has 2 wins so far in the year 2000 at Bristol and Pocono, giving him 51 career victories. Earnhardt Jr. was a Winston Cup rookie, but has won at Texas, Richmond, and the Winston. In row number 3 from NASCAR Winston Cup, Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett. Gordon, the three-time series champ, has 2 wins this year at Talladega, and he recorded his 6th straight road course victory at Sears Point. For Jarrett, the defending Winston Cup champion, he has only 1 win, his 3rd at the Daytona 500, but his 2nd in points. Row number 4 from Winston Cup, Jeff Burton, and from the Indy Racing Northern Light Series, Eddie Cheever Jr. Burton's wins in 2000 have come at Las Vegas and Daytona. This will be his 3rd IROC race here at the Brickyard. In row number 5, 2 from the NASCAR Winston Cup Series, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart. Labonte is enjoying his best season, having won at Rockingham and having led the points for most of this season. Stewart, the 1999 Rookie of the Year, has 3 wins at Dover, Michigan and New Hampshire. And in the 6th row, Winston Cup's Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt. Martin is a 4-time IROC champion, and he's won at Martinsville this year in Winston Cup, is the defending winner of this IROC race here at the Brickyard. Earnhardt's Winston Cup season has produced a victory at Atlanta, and he hopes to win his 4th IROC title here today. Back with the start of IROC 24 Race 4 in a moment. Who will win the True Value International Race of Champions Championship in the year 2000? We are about to find out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we've got some onboard cameras for you, Benny.
We'll be right along with Dale Earnhardt, car number 1, the dark blue car. Also Mark Martin, the red car, starting back in 11th spot, number 2. Tony Stewart has a powder blue onboard camera. He will start 10th. Bobby Labonte, number 4 car, a lime automobile. He will start 9th. Eddie Cheever, the victor at the Michigan Speedway, will start 8th. He's in the gold True Value IROC Pontiac. And Greg Ray starting outside the front row. He's in the medium blue car.
And we'll start on the outside of row number 1 before they go green. Here's Dr. Jerry Punch.
Bob, we mentioned last year these cars were a bit of a handful because the car in the lead of the draft would get loose. And so they came here 3 weeks ago to try to test to see if they could fix the problem. They put a larger rear spoiler on these cars. But then the problem got worse because they figured air was getting underneath the rear spoiler and lifting the back of the car. Then they tried something else. They put a small piece of plexiglass on the side of the spoiler, and that cured the problem. They came here and tested this week and ran 3 wide in turn 1. It's never been done at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 3 wide. I believe we might see it again here in just a moment.
An absolutely huge crowd on this afternoon, sunny afternoon in Indianapolis, sees the green flag drop, and the final race of IROC 24 is underway. Mark Dismore, the local hero from Greenfield, Indiana, an eastern suburb of Indianapolis, takes the lead. Mark has not had a good rookie year in International Race of Champions competition. He's trying, and we have a car. I believe that was Cheever. Eddie Cheever Jr. in the wall coming off corner number 2.
Yes, I believe that Cheever did make contact, and I think that Jeff Burton, his car seemed to be something go wrong with it on the start. Here's Earnhardt trying to get to the front.
Well, we have 2 packs of cars already as the first group is already in through turn number 4. And the second group now, positions being changed. That's Dale Earnhardt in the dark blue car as he's gained 3 positions already. Dale Jarrett leads this contingent down the straightaway. That's Bobby Labonte.
And here comes Mark Martin, 3 wide down the front stretch as Mark Martin trying his best to get to the front.
Martin has made an outstanding move here in the first lap. He is already up to 5th. He started back in 11th. Now let's take a look at what happened as the cars exited corner number 2 on the first lap.
Come off the corner, and boom, he gets some of that aerodynamic push when he comes off the corner and goes up and smacks the wall hard.
Jeff Burton, meanwhile, is on pit road. So Cheever's at the back of the field after hitting the wall in turn 2, and Jeff Burton is getting a check of that car on pit road as the field comes down to complete the second lap. And look at Jeff Gordon take a position.
Moves into the second spot. That's Rusty Wallace in the white car.
Mark Dismore continues to lead. Jerry, what's the problem with Jeff Burton?
We saw the jumble on the very first lap when Burton's car did not come up to speed, and that caused some of the cars to scatter around him down in turns 1 and 2, and that may have been what caused the incident with Cheever over the wall. But Burton's car apparently has sustained a miss from the get-go. They're looking at some of the wiring, looking back at the distributor area and ignition area. That is Jay Signori, the president of IROC, as Burton sits on pit road here in the bright yellow Pontiac Firebird.
Mark Dismore leads them down the backstretch once again, but Jeff Gordon is closing in. Rusty Wallace running in the 3rd position. That's Jarrett and Stewart battling side by side in turn number 3, and Stewart is going to get that spot.
It looked like when Tony Stewart pulled up behind Dale Jarrett, it might have gotten Dale Jarrett's car a little bit loose.
Sure looked that way, Benny. It's pretty early, too. Those IROC cars carry over 30 gallons of fuel, so at the start of the race, they act a lot different than they will at the end. The IROC cars can run up to 100 miles without stopping for a pit stop.
It is a 40-lap, 100-mile race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we have completed 3 so far with Mark Dismore from the Indy Racing Northern Light Series in the lead over Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Craig Ray, and Mark Martin. Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ray Evernham, and Dr. Jerry Punch back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as the finale of the True Value IROC 24 is underway. That is Mark Dismore out in the lead, but right behind him is Jeff Gordon. In 3rd position in the white cars, Rusty Wallace. Then comes Greg Ray and Mark Martin.
And Jeff Gordon, 29 years old today, and looking to get himself a birthday present.
Mark Martin has moved up to 4th position, dropping Greg Ray back to 5th. And let's go down to Jerry Punch, who's with Jeff Burton.
Well, not a good sign. You standing here with me as the IROC race just starts. What happened, Jeff?
It coming to take the green before the green ever dropped. I felt it do something. It vibrated pretty bad. It broke something. It's a shame these guys with IROC work their butts off and give us great cars. And it's been a bad stretch. I've broke 2 of them this year, and that's really, they don't ever break anything. I've broke 2. So it's just the way it goes. These guys work their butts off, and things happen. Mechanical things break from time to time.
Jeff Burton, the first one out here. He will finish 12th in the finale.
Good battle for 3rd back there. Mark Martin, the red car, tries to get to the inside of Rusty Wallace, coming off 3. Let's see if he does anything coming off forward here. We're on board with Mark. That's Rusty up ahead.
Down the front straightaway at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Look at people right, people left by that yard of bricks. Mark Martin, if he can get by a couple more cars, could be in position to win his 5th IROC championship. He's in position for Rusty Wallace now.
And look at Gordon take a look to the inside of Mark Dismore. Mark did take 3rd from Rusty Wallace there in the short chute. So now Jeff Gordon will take his sights on Dismore as they head down the backstretch. Mark Dismore has led all laps so far, but on the backstretch, on lap number 7, he goes into the lead, but Mark doesn't want to give up that spot. Let's see how they race through turn number 3. Dismore on the high side, Gordon down low. Here they come, and Mark Martin is going to join the battle. Gordon takes the lead.
And that's Mark Martin in the bright red, the dark red car on the inside of Mark Dismore, trying to take that 2nd spot away. And here comes Rusty Wallace. Oh, Greg Ray.
Close they are. Oh, we have a wreck in turn 1. Hard contact.
Might be Mark Dismore.
And Greg Ray also involved. We're on board with Ray as he will be able to refire the car, it would appear, but Mark Dismore's car went hard into the first turn wall. We see Mark climbing from his battered machine, waving to the crowd. He's okay. And boy, there are a lot of people in central Indiana that would like to have seen this young man do well here in IROC. Here's a look at what happened as they all were in a bunch headed down to turn 1, and that's Greg Ray on the inside of Mark.
And I would guess that Greg Ray and Dismore made contact as they both fought for the same part of real estate going down in turn 1.
Well, I don't know, Benny. Let's have another look at that. I don't know if those cars made contact or something else happened there. Something.
Yeah, right
they
there.
did make a little contact.
Yep. That sends Dismore sideways. Greg tried to regain control and did a half spin, but Mark's car just hard up into that first turn wall, scattering a lot of debris onto the racing surface.
Here we see right along with Greg Ray. And right there is the contact. See Dismore going around and backing in the fence, and Greg Ray can't quite catch up the steering wheel.
So the caution is out here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt was fortunate to get through all of this. That's Jarrett right beside him, and they both got through.
I tell you, the guy that did the job was Tony Stewart. All that racing on the dirt track and those sprint cars really came in handy because he went in turn 1 sideways.
Mark Dismore is okay. He climbed from his battered race car, but it has brought out the first caution here in IROC 24. The IROC race is about to get back underway here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The cleanup is complete down in turn number 1 where Mark Dismore hit the wall. This is how they stand. Dismore is out, and so is Jeff Burton. So 10 cars remain on the racetrack. The pace car has them in tow. Coming off corner number 3, we should be going back to racing here in just a moment.
And as you can see, folks, the IROC restarts. The cars line up side by side, not nose to tail as you would normally see.
That's Jeff Gordon on the inside in the cream-colored car. Mark Martin in red on the outside of row number 1. Then Rusty Wallace down to the inside of row number 2, flanked by Bobby Labonte. Pace car pulls off at the north end of the straightaway, and we get set for the competition.
See Jeff waving to Rusty there, letting him know that he was getting ready to go.
And go they do. The green is on. Here we go again. Mark drops in behind Jeff as they head for turn number 1. Labonte and Wallace staying side by side through the corner. That's Dale Earnhardt down there in the dark blue car into 4th spot.
And Bob Labonte was pushed up high on the racetrack, lost a spot, losing another spot as Tony Stewart goes by. Earnhardt trying to get on the inside of Rusty Wallace for 3rd spot.
Down the long straightaway, 5/8 of a mile down to turn number 3 to the inside. Earnhardt has the position and he moves up to 3rd. Earnhardt trying to win his 4th IROC title. Mark Martin right ahead of him is also in contention for the championship. Jeff Gordon, the leader of the race, is not.
See what, Mark Martin on that restart trying to get between Jeff Gordon's car and the car running in 3rd spot. Rusty Wallace was kind of like putting a nickel and dime slot. Wasn't a lot of room there.
Martin looks to the inside in the short chute. He says, why not? And he does. In turn number 2, Mark Martin takes the lead. Well, there have been 2 previous IROC races here at Indy, and Mark Martin has won both of them, and he's out front again.
Mark Martin is just absolutely outstanding in these true value IROC cars. Just outstanding.
Jerry, we're sorry to see him out of the race, but we're glad he's uninjured, Mark Dismore.
So am I, Bob. Mark Dismore, you took a bit of a wild ride up there down in turn 1. What happened?
Well, Jerry, the car was awesome for like the first 3 or 4 laps, and it started picking up a push. And to be honest with you, I just don't know how to manipulate the cars yet. And Gordon got a run off of 2 on me, and we went down the back straightaway. And they, Jeff and me went into 3 together. I had a high line. It was decent. I lost a little ground. I lost a little more through 4, and the line started forming, you know, the normal deal. And come down into 1, and I was trying to get back in line, and I was thinking it was Ray I turned down into, but it might have been Earnhardt, but whoever it was, I got into the right front of somebody's fender and turned it around. And I feel bad for all the True Value Hardware guys. They worked their tails off in this series, and I tore one of their race cars up, and I apologize for that.
Tough day for a native Hoosier. Bob?
All right, on the racetrack, we have some good competition going on. We're on board with Tony Stewart now as he tries to get around Rusty Wallace, who is just up ahead in 3rd spot. Tony Stewart in the powder blue car. Meanwhile, Mark Martin has taken the lead from Dale Earnhardt.
Checking out our telemetry. On board with Tony Stewart, we see the miles per hour as he goes by the start-finish line. About 163 as he goes down About 167 miles per hour.
Look at the G's on the bottom load up. Over 1 G pulled there in the corners.
So 1.2. He didn't back off the gas, did he?
No, those guys have been serious. They are running wide open around there. A G is simply a measurement that lets us know that that car is cornering. It's carrying more cornering force than it actually weighs. So that's those aerodynamics that we were talking about coming into play. Without a huge amount of aerodynamic force, you couldn't create that amount of G force.
Mark Martin leads the 4th race of the IROC 24 series here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with Dale Earnhardt running 2nd. We'll be right back. Welcome back to ABC's coverage of the True Value IROC 24 race number 4. Whenever the Goodyear blimp is hovering above with its camera focused on an event, you know you're going to get a unique view. And overhead today is the blimp Spirit of Goodyear, based in Akron, Ohio, the world headquarters for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And they're focusing their cameras on the activity below, where Mark Martin continues to lead this race. As we have completed 16 laps now, he leads over Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, and Bobby Labonte.
Well, the good news for Mark Martin, he's leading the race, and it looks like he's going to be easily lead the most laps, get the bonus points. The bad news, the guy that really needs to beat and get 5 or 6 positions on, Dale Earnhardt, is the car right behind him.
If Earnhardt does finish in 2nd position, he will win the title no matter what Mark Martin does. And right now, Mark Martin has led the most laps. We have had 3 leaders so far. Mark Dismore led the first 6. Then Jeff Gordon took over for 2. Mark Martin took over then and has led since then. And there are bonus points for leading laps. So that, too, is very important in terms of winning the championship. There is Rusty Wallace in the white car. He's back in 3rd, and Tony Stewart has been on his heels now for the last several laps.
And Eddie Cheever has moved past Dale Jarrett. He's moved up to the 7th position. We saw him smack the wall the first lap or 2.
There is Cheever in the gold car. Boy, what a win he had at the Michigan Speedway in the 3rd round of IROC 24.
On the caution flag, when Mark Dismore crashed on in turn 1, Cheever made a pit stop, and we see Greg Reyes bringing his True Value IROC car to the garage here, to the pit road.
Now, he was involved in the incident with Mark Dismore. The 2 touched, and Dismore tapped the right front of Ray's car. And now Greg brings it down into the pit area. And this can mean nothing but trouble. Jerry?
Apparently the damage on the front of Greg Ray's car from the incident earlier when he's involved with contact with Mark Dismore has created a problem aerodynamically with the front of the car. The car wants to lift a little bit and bob and vibrate around. And Ray just felt the car would not be safe on the racetrack. He couldn't keep up with the pack, and the car was getting worse and worse. So rather than take a chance on losing this car and injuring himself and tearing up a race car, he decided to pull down pit road and park it.
So now we have 9 drivers remaining in the race. Jeff Burton dropped out very early with a mechanical problem. Dismore crashed, and now Greg Ray has also brought his car onto pit road. First 2 with a lot of racetrack between them back here in 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. They continue to run fairly closely.
This is about the time last year in the True Value IROC race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway that Dale Earnhardt started falling back. Remember, he ran well earlier, but he started falling back. He needs to stay right where he is to win his 4th IROC championship.
On board with Bobby Labonte. That is Tony Stewart up ahead. Labonte trying to win a NASCAR Winston Cup championship in the year 2000. So mathematically eligible to win the IROC championship, but it doesn't look like at the moment that will happen, as the Mark Martin and Dale Earnhardt cars are out front, and they are, of course, also contesting the title. Rusty Wallace, a former champion of the IROC series that came back in 1991. Jerry Punch is with Greg Ray.
Reigning Indy Racing Northern Light Series champion Greg Ray. Hate to see you out of it this early, Greg, but some damage to the front of the car.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think we had probably a pretty good car to start with, but Dismore kind of got out of line there, and I was on a 3-car train on the inside, and he and I got together, and I went over the rumble strips when I slid sideways, and that was just enough to hurt the car. We got some new tires, but aerodynamically, I couldn't stay up with those guys, and I had to push too hard to do that, and car sliding around, and I'm not a factor in the points championship, and I didn't want to get out there and have a single car accident and you know, and change the championship for these guys. So had a lot of fun this year, a lot of experience, and look forward to maybe coming back.
Short day for Greg Ray.
Meanwhile, with 19 laps to go here in IROC 24, there is the leader of the race, Mark Martin. His worst finish this year has been 4th. He finished 4th at Daytona and Michigan and finished 2nd in the IROC race at Talladega. He's followed by Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, Tony Stewart, and Bobby Labonte. Welcome back to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and ABC's coverage of the International Race of Champions finale for the year 2000. We have completed 27 laps. That means we've got 13 to go, and Dale Earnhardt trails Mark Martin by just about 2 seconds. We're watching a battle here involving Jeff Gordon and Bobby Labonte. By the way, Mark Martin, who continues to lead, has clinched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, but as we told you earlier, as long as Earnhardt stays there in 2nd, he's going to be the champion.
We're right along with Bobby Labonte. We'll take a look at his telemetry and watch the RPM, miles per hour. You can see the RPM does not change a great deal. Corner, straightaway, it's all about the same. 7,500. See Tony Stewart taking a look on the inside of Rusty Wallace. He's done that down in turn 1 a couple of times, but not able to get by. That's Rusty in the white car, Tony Stewart in the powder blue car. And that is Mark Martin, who is saying, see you guys.
Well, he is a 4-time IROC champion, 90, 96, 97, and 98, and the streak was interrupted last year when Earnhardt won the championship. And as things are right now, Earnhardt's going to win his 2nd championship, but hang on, we still got 20 laps to go. Make that 12 laps to go.
Yeah, and it looks to me like that Rusty Wallace and those other cars are gaining a little bit on Dale Earnhardt. I may be imagining things, but it looks like they're getting a little bit closer. And Earnhardt, I don't think, can afford to have it. Maybe one of those cars pass him. If 2 passes him, I think he loses that championship to Mark Martin.
And Benny, the draft is critical here. And right now, even though Dale's lost Mark Martin's draft, the other guys are picking up a sniff of Dale Earnhardt's draft, so they might run him down.
Interval between 1st and 2nd is 2 seconds, but indeed there is less than a second between 2nd and 3rd between Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace.
We just saw Rusty waving in the mirror to Tony Stewart. Come on, let's stay in line.
Tony Stewart is in his 2nd IROC. Last year here at Indianapolis, he started 12th and finished in the 6th position. But indeed, that interval back there is closing up, and just in a very short time, Wallace is going to be right on Earnhardt's back bumper.
It actually looks like Labonte and Gordon will catch that front 3 also.
Now, if Dale Earnhardt does fall to 3rd, we're going to end up with a tie, and Martin will win the title because he has a better race finish. So stay tuned, folks. Don't go away. The championship for IROC 24 is very, very much still up for grabs.
And you know that Earnhardt has gone over all these variables. He understands that he's got to stay in front of Rusty Wallace because he knows that Mark Martin up there to lead, getting those bonus points.
In addition to his win at Daytona, Dale Earnhardt finished 3rd at Talladega and 3rd at Michigan. He is 2nd here today behind Mark Martin. Fire, that's tomorrow live 4 o'clock Eastern time here on ABC. All right, here's the situation. Mark Martin continues to lead over Dale Earnhardt. Wallace, Stewart, Bobby Labonte make up the top 5, but those cars are running right in formation. That is Gordon behind Labonte.
And the deal is the blue car, Dale Earnhardt, has got to stay in front of the white car, Rusty Wallace, to win the championship and win the money.
If Mark Martin can go on to win, Earnhardt has to finish 2nd. If he finishes 3rd or worse, he loses the championship. Martin right now has a fairly healthy advantage on Dale, but that's not the concern at all. The concern is Dale Earnhardt remaining there in 2nd, and Jeff Gordon moves to the inside of Bobby Labonte. He's been looking at that spot.
He's been looking, trying to get by Labonte for some time. Finally makes that pass happen.
We've got less than 5 laps to go. The cars move off corner number 2 and down the long back straightaway. There is Martin. And that interval is up to 2.7 seconds, so Martin has things well in hand as far as the lead is concerned.
And right now, if Earnhardt can stay there, he has the championship well in hand. But he cannot afford to lose one position. You would think, well, Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt, they're good friends. Rusty's going to allow Dale to win that championship. Wrong.
4 laps to go. 10 miles of racing remain in IROC 24.
But if we see Dale Earnhardt waving his hand to Rusty Wallace, it might not be to stay in line. It could be he's waving his wallet at him, Benny.
Yeah.
And speaking of money, here's what the championship is worth. $225,000 to the winner of the series. 2nd place, $100,000, and 3rd, $60,000. So BP there is only a slight indication of why there will be no pulling aside.
Exactly. $225,000 is a lot of money. Rusty got to this point and looked like he was going to catch Earnhardt, but all of a sudden when he got just, what, just 5 or 6 car lengths behind, all of a sudden the gain has stopped. And Rusty moves over, and I guess he was trying to block the pass of Tony Stewart. They're side by side. Stewart on the outside.
Watch this through the corner. Stewart makes the pass. Now here comes Jeff Gordon up to challenge Rusty Wallace all the way through the corner, and he takes the position. So Wallace suddenly falls back here, although he challenges Jeff Gordon back coming off the corner.
Tony Stewart looking back at Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon, and still this position is yet to be determined.
Oh, look at this. Almost 3 wide into the corner. They're definitely 2 wide with Gordon and Wallace wheel to wheel.
And there is that 2 wide side-by-side racing that we talked about all the way through the corner.
Bobby Labonte watches. They'll come down and have 2 more laps to go. Meanwhile, Tony Stewart in the powder blue car, who is now in 3rd spot, is gaining on Dale Earnhardt, and it's up to him to take the challenge and the championship away from Earnhardt. Meanwhile, this side-by-side battle continues, and that's what we had thought we'd see more of here today. There is Earnhardt. And he's got a little more than a lap to go, and if he can stay in that position, he's won the title. Coming down for the white flag. Mark Martin is the leader of the race. There's the white flag for Mark. 1 more lap to go. Let's see if Tony Stewart can spoil the party for Dale Earnhardt. Down into turn number 1. Earnhardt holds off the challenge. He's got a couple of car lengths between him.
And down the backstretch, Dale Earnhardt in the dark blue car will probably drive with a mirror, trying to block Tony Stewart as much as he looks forward. He moves down to the inside, tries to break that draft, goes back up. And Tony Stewart just can't gain anything down the backstretch.
Interval remains about the same, about a car length and a half or so. They come through the third corner for the final time. Over onto the short chute at the north end of the racetrack.
See, Jeff Gordon's been able to get by Rusty Wallace.
And they race to the checkered flag. Mark Martin wins the IROC race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And as they hit the stripe, Dale Earnhardt is going to win the title for 2000. It's his 4th IROC title. That ties him with Mark Martin for most IROC championships. Congratulations to Dale Earnhardt, the champion, and Mark Martin, who started back in the last row with Earnhardt and came on to win here this afternoon. With that win, Mark Martin ties Dale Earnhardt and Al Unser Jr. with the most IROC victories, 11. So a lot of history made here today at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Martin wins the race, Earnhardt the title. It is indeed hallowed ground, victory lane at Indy. Here's Jerry Punch.
Mark Martin climbs out and sits on top of his True Value IROC Pontiac Firebird and waves at this huge crowd, the largest to ever see an International Race of Champions event. And Mark, for the 3rd year in a row, you have won at Indy, and for the 2nd year in a row, you did everything you could do. You led the most laps and won the race, but once again, it wasn't quite enough.
Wasn't enough, but we gave it our best shot, and these days I put God and my family first, and they are, but racing wasn't bad. So I can't ask for any more than that. It's real nice to win races, and Dale Earnhardt is tough, and he showed that today. I never dreamed in a million years he could run second. I knew I could get to the front there after about 5 or 6 laps, and I thought we probably had it, because I didn't see how he was going to be able to do it. But he's just a crafty veteran, and he's tough to beat. And I didn't score enough points at those other races, or I'd have won the championship.
Did you see Stewart catching him there in your mirror and know that Tony maybe had a lap or two more? He had a good shot at him.
Yeah, I did. I was really pulling for Rusty. I was watching back there. I tried to get so far ahead that, that I wouldn't pull Dale any. And, I either had that or to try to hold back and cause his front end to push. But if I'd have done that, somebody might have beat me. So I wanted to win the race. That's the most important thing. And points are secondary in my book. Winning races is what it's all about. If you win enough of them, you'll win the championship. And that's what Dale did this year. He won enough races, scored enough points, and we got ours. It wasn't enough.
Once again, Mark Martin wins the battle, but Dale Earnhardt wins the war. Bob Jenkins?
And so IROC 24 does indeed go to the Intimidator, Dale Earnhardt, who wins the title. And the final margin was just 3 points over Mark. Tony Stewart ended up 3rd in the point standings, with Bobby Labonte 4th and Eddie Cheever Jr. the best among the open wheel drivers in the IROC 24 series. Back down to Jerry.
For the 4th time in his career and 2nd year in a row, Dale Earnhardt is the IROC champion. Dale, congratulations, but it didn't look real easy.
It wasn't. Mark and I started in the rear, and I thought we was going to go right to the front together. And boy, he got by a couple guys, and I couldn't get by him. He was just traveling on, and then the wreck knocked a couple guys out from in front of us. We got in there and on the restart and got by a couple guys and ended up second to him. So I worked hard for about 20, 25 laps to try to catch him. And I seen I was just punishing my car and punishing myself. So I sort of eased up and just tried to run a line and take care of the tires. And I didn't think Rusty and them guys could catch me. And then they got by Rusty. Stewart did, and here comes Stewart. I said, uh-oh, I better try to do something. And the harder I tried, the more he caught me. And then it just was close. And, he tried down to the last lap. But it was a great win for us in the series. Mark, he's he's a tough competitor on any track, and especially this track, and all the rest of the guys. And Jay and all the guys did a great job with the IROC cars, and True Value sponsoring. I appreciate all the help everybody gives Jay and Goodyear and everybody. It's just a great series, and I wish we could get some of them kart guys to come over and run. I think they're a little scared of Mark Martin and Earnhardt, though.
What a challenge he throws down, as Dale Earnhardt is the 2000 IROC champion.
4 races, 4 different winners in IROC 24. Earnhardt, the most consistent. ABC Sports is online at abcsports.com. A reminder that we have soccer coming up tomorrow live at 4 o'clock. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence. Now, to our Wide World of Sports studio in New York, here's Robin Roberts.